G'day, you're listening to the Virtual Staff Room, and this is episode 15, Whiteboards Everywhere. Well, I've just had a wonderful weekend up at Carrara on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, at the 4th National Interactive Whiteboard Conference held by IWBnet and hosted at Emmanuel College at Carrara. And it was a really, really good conference. I had a wonderful time. I was fortunate enough to be asked to present a couple of sessions up there, along with a whole bunch of other presenters. There was something like 120 different sessions running over the two-day conference, in just about every possible aspect of interactive whiteboard use that you can possibly imagine. So it was very good. Lots of contacts, networking, connections, and just a great couple of days. Actually, the Gold Coast is always a great place for a conference. This episode is a little bit different to some of the other episodes of the Virtual Staff Room. In this one, what I do is wander around with my little trusty voice recorder, shoving it in people's faces at the IWB conference and just asking them for some insights and opinions on what went on there. So if you couldn't make it to the conference, never fear. You can get your little virtual fix and see what happened up there by simply listening to this one. Towards the end of this podcast, you'll find a nice little surprise with a recording of a interview we did in one of the sessions that I ran with podcasting guru and smartboard guru Ben Hazzard from Canada. Ben runs the Smartboard Lessons podcast with his offsider Joan Badger, and managed to hook up with us for a bit of a chat about taking the walls of your classroom down and extending it out to the real world. So that's quite an interesting one, and a nice little piece of music that you might hear if you hang around right to the end, written by some enterprising musical teachers who didn't know they were musical. Hang around, because here we go.
Hi, this is Chris Betcher from the Virtual Staff Room podcast, and I'm talking to you today from the 4th Annual Interactive Whiteboard Conference in beautiful Gold Coast, Australia. And I'm standing here with Val McCauley, who's one of the organisers of the conference. G'day, Val.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
We're really good, and I'm really enjoying the conference. You've been one of the organisers of this event, and I just thought I'd ask you a couple of questions about what's been involved in putting the whole show together, because it's a pretty big deal.
That's fine, thank you.
So just tell us, there's around 400 people, 450 odd people attending?
Yeah, the number of participants involved in this conference is 450, which really is indicating what the growth is like and the interest in interactive whiteboards across this country. So we're very pleased with that. In fact, we've had people come from Hong Kong, New Zealand, as far away as that. So it's a really growing concern.
Yeah, I'm sharing a room with someone from New Zealand, so they're all over the place. And you've got a whole bunch of vendors involved as well, I notice.
That's right, we do. In fact, once again, the number of vendors interested in coming to our National Whiteboard Conference has grown this year. In fact, we have 18 vendors who are here showing their wares, either to do with an interactive whiteboard itself or the peripherals that go with an interactive whiteboard, including software. So we've got a wonderful display of materials here, and we do have Commander being the major sponsor of this event.
Yep. Now, what I'm blown away with as I look around this morning is the number of sessions that you guys have got running. I think you said 116 separate sessions?
Yes, that's right. Well, across the 2 days, there are about 12 one-hour slots. But within those slots, there are many choices within each hour of about 10.
Well,
so we're talking 110 to 120 different options that the delegates had to choose from at this conference.
It's monstrous. The program for the event prints out at 20 pages or something. It's huge.
Yes, we'll have to go smaller font next time.
And you've got some really diverse presenters too, which is really good. A whole bunch of classroom practitioners, so yes. A bunch of people that are teaching.
What we're interested in doing in these conferences is to get to the good classroom practitioner. And over the 4 years that we've run these conferences, we've been able to identify those people. So as we go from year to year, we keep our eye on those people, they keep interested in us, and we've been able to assemble a really good group of basically practical, excellent classroom teachers who know how to use interactive whiteboards well to enhance their learning, their teaching and learning.
Yeah, well, it's a great conference so far, and I've enjoyed presenting a couple of sessions this morning, but I'm also going to enjoy going and attending a few later today.
Good. Yes, Chris, and we have people like you who are very creative, etc., with the whiteboards, and we'll hang on to you as long as we can, plus the other presenters that do the same sort of thing.
Yeah, well, the keynote speech this morning was basically focused on the use of the boards as a sort of a enabling technology, wasn't it? That's
right. It was a very interesting speech. The speaker was Derek Bartels, who has a very, very strong background in ICT across this country, and especially in Queensland. And his point was this: he was interested in the title of the conference, which has the word interactive whiteboard in it. And he's a bit fascinated by the fact that these days in ICT, that's what we often focus on. We're focusing on our device. And he's pretty much blown away by the fact that 450 people would come to a conference such as this to look at basically the ins and outs of a device.
Yeah.
But he was very complimentary of that device, and believes that the people at this conference would learn a lot.
Yeah. Well, so far so good. I'm going to go now and try and catch a few people as they wander around the conference and speak to some delegates. But thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much, and I'll be interested in listening to this myself. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, I'm here with Paul Schnetka, who's the Director of Technology here at Emmanuel, and Emmanuel is hosting the Whiteboard Conference. So, Paul, this must have been a lot of hard work to put this together.
No hard work. It's all fun. It's I mean it sincerely in that it's an opportunity to be able to share it for people and so forth. And I think the concept of it being hard is it's more rewarding than anything. So yeah, it's been great to do.
We talk about that a lot in our classes and our pedagogy approach of kids needing hard fun.
Yeah, it's I always sort of say to the kids too, there's easy and there's hard, but the hard stuff, you feel good about yourself that you've been able to contribute. It's good.
Yeah. So in terms of resourcing, just the picture, the school here has roughly how many students?
We have 1,300 students here, which is about half primary and half secondary.
Right, and in terms of technology, you seem to have interactive whiteboards in pretty much all of the classrooms I've seen.
Yeah, we've got 40 interactive whiteboards in every classroom from P to 7. And in the secondary school, we have them kind of scattered throughout. There's different policies with it, but call it about half of the secondary schools. We don't have one in the computer labs yet because at this stage it's more important to go into other rooms and so forth.
Yep, fair enough. One of the comments I hear a lot about is this difference between the way interactive whiteboards get used in a primary classroom and a high school classroom. Have you got any sort of thoughts on that?
I guess the concept I'd say there is that in some high schools people use them as a way to lecture to the students, and I'd encourage people to use it more like a primary classroom. If we're talking an interactive whiteboard, the kids should be coming up and using it,
and interacting with it.
Yeah, that's right. And if it's even if in the SOS class we have some tablets that we can put on group tables and so forth that kids can not necessarily come up to the front. So I guess they're used differently, but it's really the teaching style that makes it differently.
Yeah.
Many high schoolers get group work happening in their classroom and so forth. It tends to be in high schools where it's more content driven and different things like that are happening. It tends to be slightly more chalk and talk, but I'd encourage people to change that and think about how you can use the tool more interactively.
So in terms of professional development then in getting teachers, because you were really talking about a pedagogical change, an approach to the way you teach.
Yes, but I always take teachers from what they're doing now to where I'd like them to be. And where I like them to be doesn't tend to be too technology focused, in the sense that even if someone doesn't have an interactive whiteboard, I'd always encourage them to use more group work or whatever they're going to do. In terms of professional development, it's an interesting one, because the concept of doing mass professional development and all this on how to use an interactive whiteboard, we tend not to have the time for those sort of things anyway. You're better off coaching people or doing more group work, the same as I'm talking about with teaching children.
Yep.
So, professional development has never been a problem for us. I don't understand the hang-up that people have that it's hard to do, because all that we're doing is taking people from where they are and slightly helping them, and it's just strategies we use for any sort of learning.
Yep. Fair enough. Mate, thanks for talking to me.
No problem.
So I'm here with Simon Evans, who happens to be my roommate staying here at the conference. So what did you see this morning, Simon?
Shivers, I can't remember. Oh, that's right. I went to Peter Kent He did behaviour management using the IWB.
And how was that?
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, he talked about sort of positive attitudes towards each other in the classroom and stuff, using IWB as a focus for him.
Nice. And Jenny Barrett is here. Jenny did the talk this morning too. What was your talk on, Jen?
Things you should think about before you get an interactive whiteboard.
And the summary of the summary, what should you think about?
Professional development.
Really?
Getting a really good trainer and buying your boards from a company called Interwrite.
Free plug. I'm standing here with Fiona, who came up and said she actually listens to this podcast, and so we're having a photo taken together, so you can see it on the website. Hi. So you've been enjoying the conference?
Absolutely, yeah. I get emails regularly. I listen to other people's podcasts as well. Sorry, it's not just you, Chris. But
I hope not.
It would be lovely to work in an environment where everybody was as enthusiastic about using the computer. Well, not just the computers, but all the technologies, like the iPods everybody's pulling out. I want one of those next. It's good networking.
Yeah.
And hearing other people go.
So what's one idea you've taken away from the conference?
Well, one idea is I'm not by myself. That's probably the biggest thing. I get frustrated from time to time. So, yeah. No.
And there's a whole community out there joined by the internet now that you can tap into. You don't physically have to be in the same place.
That's right. And I went to Canada this morning and had a look at your photos of the ice hanging off the cars. That was incredible.
There you go. It's an incredibly small world. We had a podcast this morning with Ben Hazzard, who does the Smart Lesson podcast in Canada, and he actually popped in for a Skype chat with video to the group that I was doing this morning.
And I missed that. I'm sorry.
And so it's an incredibly small world to be sitting here in the Gold Coast and talking to someone in Port Lambton in Ontario with pictures, with sound, and just to be able to invite people into your classroom like that.
It is a flat world, isn't it?
Yeah. Incredibly flat world. Yeah. Have you read that book?
Yes, which is one of the first podcasts I listened to of yours.
Right. Yeah. Well, thanks, Fiona.
Yep.
So I'm talking to Hannah. And Hannah's down here from Christmas Island, so talk about coming a fair way for the conference. Hi, Hannah.
Hello, how are you going?
Good. What have you got out of the conference so far?
Really good things. Some things about Flash, GarageBand, a lot of the interactive whiteboard stuff. It's going pretty well. Lots of nice food.
So, and I instantly liked Hannah because she's a Mac person.
Yes, Mac's rule.
Thanks, Hannah.
Bye.
They're everywhere. Here's Patricia, and Patricia's also Pat. Pat's also down from Christmas Island. Hi, Pat.
How you going?
Good. And this is a long way to come for a conference.
It's well worth it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So have you got whiteboards at school?
Yeah, we have about 6 smart boards.
Yeah.
And one was just put in the library. I'm a library resource teacher, which means that I need to learn how to use it and promote it.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, it's so what have you gotten out of the conference?
Lots of ideas, lots of websites, lots of just turn it on and use it all the time, and interaction, just huge amounts.
Yeah.
It's just been a bit mind-boggling for me.
Fiona was just saying before about how there's a sense of community here that you realise kind of no matter how alone you might feel in your school, you're not alone.
No, that's absolutely right. Lots of people have the same expressions on their faces.
Even in the subgroups, like we're librarians who aren't trained librarians, we've been put in the position, so like we're a subgroup of a group. So Ring-ins we are. We've got a new name as well.
Oh, thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome. Anytime.
And I'm talking to Greg, and Greg's from the Brisbane Grammar School, Head of Asian Languages, and we've been having a little chat here about podcasting in the classroom. It sounds like you do a little bit of that sort of stuff with your kids.
Yeah, we do. We do a little bit of podcasting, boys creating activities and then recording them. And we also do a vodcast for the boys to review their work that they've done from their flip charts. So yeah, we get into it. We're not only getting the boys to make them, but also downloading ones or subscribing to ones that are existing out there, like there's ChinesePod.com and JapanesePod101.com. That's very, very popular out there. So yeah, we do get into it.
Cool, excellent. And you've enjoyed the conference?
I have indeed. It's been wonderful to see all like-minded people out here interested in interactive whiteboards.
Yeah, what's one thing that's jumped out at you about the conference?
Probably the fact that these things are absolutely taking over education in Australia. They've already taken over in England, and other countries are picking up the baton and running with it, I suppose, and Australia as well.
Yep, yeah, we're a little bit behind, but we're starting to catch up.
We are indeed.
Good on you. Thanks, mate. Bye. Bye. I'm here talking to Chris. Chris is from Loretto at Kirribilli in Sydney, and we've just been chatting about how some of this technology is forcing change upon schools and teachers. I really like what you just said. Say it again.
Well, we started talking about change in teachers, and I said, it's taken 200 years for us to get here, so it hopefully won't take another 200 years to change, but that's probably the reason why change in education takes so long, I suppose. And
it becomes generational, doesn't it? People who leave school and want to become a teacher, the only example of teaching they've ever seen is what their teachers before them did, and so they go in and they assume that that's what teaching is. Yeah, that's exactly right. There is a theory, and I don't agree with it, but they say that because we've come back to schools that we're inherently conservative people, and that unfortunately it drives the change agenda. But look, if you start to engage in a bit of technology, then you're forced to change, and it's the people that aren't dabbling with it that are really, they're not changing in a whole lot of other ways as well, not just with technology. Yeah, the technology is just a symptom. The actual cause is the underlying approach to the way you deal with what happens in your classroom, I think. That is exactly right, yeah. So, catch a thought. What's one thing you've gotten out of the conference? Look, I've had a couple of presentations, so I've had those on my mind fully, and I'm not a very good person to ask that question to for that reason, but I have to say that it's good to see that some of the presentations are really starting to look critically at the technology as an aid to learning rather than just as a piece of technology. I think we've gone beyond really, we shouldn't even be having an interactive whiteboard conference. It should be about learning with the technology rather than making that a sort of the focus of the... I mentioned in one of my talk courses yesterday, when your only tool's a hammer, that everything looks like a nail. That's right.
Within the week.
How are you? I was
just check out another how hard it
I'm talking to my mate Bryn Jones here, who happens to be making a lot of noise.
Fade into one another.
And Bryn's here with Atomic Learning, the software training tool that you can get from the web. G'day, Bryn.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right.
Having a good conference?
Yeah, it's been great. How's it work for you?
Oh, it's been good, yeah. These ones are always good. It's the fourth of the RWB conferences we've been to. We meet the right sort of people.
And you've been on the big expedition, so tell us about the big trip from Perth. How'd you get here?
Well, we drove across in the camper van. We had 5 conferences over a 2-month period, so we thought instead of keep flying backwards and forwards, we'd check out where it was feasible to drive around and manage the business whilst we're travelling. So it's been a bit of an experiment to see how that went.
And it works?
Yeah, it's been pretty good, apart from losing my hard drive was a bit of a setback, which is not so easy when you're away from home.
And I want to have a look at this magic van of yours, because it's all fitted out with internet access and all sorts of things.
Yep, well, it's not in the van at the moment, it's on here, but we've got the NextG modem and the aerial for the different places. The aerial gives you a kind of 6 decibel gain, so that if you're in an area with poor reception, it kind of...
So that aerial's picking up NextG Wi-Fi?
It's not, because we don't need it, but if you did, you've got the 5 bars up here.
Yeah.
If you don't have 5 bars up there...
Oh, I see, right.
Then you plug this in, and that'll take you from 2 to 5.
So this little blue dongle is your internet connection?
That's it, yeah. Uses a cell phone network.
And when you're out on the road, in remote areas, you attach the aerial to get a higher gain signal?
Yeah, and probably the most... And it's worked absolutely everywhere. I mean, really, it is very impressive. The only problem is it's very expensive, so you need to... we're paying something like $90 a month for 1 gig, which is, if you really wanted to do interesting stuff,
you'd through that pretty
probably up to $150 a month if you want to be uploading photos and watching movies or anything like that.
Yeah. Still, it's a mobile solution. That's only going to get cheaper.
It works for the business parts, the text-based things, email, sending invoices, managing the database and contacting people. And we do a few Skype calls every month that just about manage that on one gig.
Excellent. Sounds good.
So, one of the sessions I ran on the Saturday morning was called Narrow the Divide Between School and Home, and in it we were trying to get to the bottom of how you could use some of this technology to eliminate the walls of the classroom and basically bring the outside world in. And so what we did was you organised a little Skype call with video over to Ben Hazzard. And Ben is the creator of the Smartboard Lesson podcast, which is doing really well. They're heading for their 100th episode shortly, and Ben and his offsider Joan do a great job of that podcast. Highly recommend it to you, as I did to all the participants in that session. But we managed to have a little catch-up session with Ben, and here's a little bit of it.
Let's give it a go, and let's chat a little bit.
No worries. Well, I've got you live here in front of a group of educators here in Queensland. A small but enthusiastic group, and we've just been talking about different means of connecting students and going beyond the school walls and sort of connecting students to that outside world. So we've looked at a few different things and talked about a few different ways we can do that, both with smartboards or with interactive whiteboards and without. Perhaps you have some thoughts on that.
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts on that, Chris. A couple things, which is, first of all, congratulations for waking up early, because I am understanding that it's quite early in Queensland right now.
Oh, no, it's 20 to 10 in the morning, so...
Well, it depends on how good the conference has been then. And the second thing would be the process of connecting students and kind of getting out the four walls of the classroom. And a lot of our work with the podcast, but a lot of my work in my classroom was trying to get a outward view beyond just the four walls of the classroom. And certainly Skype is an amazing tool because it, for free, allows that. And some of the work I did with my collaboration partner Joan has been to certainly connect our students with blogs that we're kind of working back and forth. And we found that in the really hot days of summer, our students were excited to be going back and forth and keep on working right through to the end of the school year, because the learning wasn't just about Mr. Hazzard, myself. It was about communicating in socially appropriate ways with the other class. And it really kind of increased their motivation, Chris.
Yeah. I was just sharing an example with the group here of something that I did with a podcasting project with some kids, and I experienced exactly the same thing. This idea that they complete almost an attitude shift completely.
And we were just blown away. My school was not known for its academic rigor with the students, and they didn't also have computers at home. So they were going to the library or an aunt's house or anywhere they could to get on the computer so they could comment on the other classrooms' blog posts. And we were just blown away by the success of that. And the other piece is that when you have a smartboard in your classroom, I'll throw this out there, you suddenly have a quite accessible window on the world. And by using some tools, you can easily connect with other classrooms. And I really think that's where a lot of effort should be placed.
Yeah, I know a guy who's an economics teacher who actually used to work in industry and has a lot of connections back with industry, and so he has regular industry visits to his class from people outside in the real world, quote, via Skype, and he does it about once a week. And his kids can sit in class and talk like you and I are talking at the moment in front of the group, and talk to bank managers and loans officers and mortgage managers and that type of thing, and ask some questions about economics.
That's brilliant. The other piece that I really would like to say is sometimes you and I, Chris, we're big picture thinkers, and we like to look at all the amazing things we could do. A teacher, Katie Morrow, came into our podcast and shared one thing that she's done. And she used just a little recorder function, the screen recorder with her smartboard. And she had her students record lessons for the students in the next year. And I sent you the link to that podcast. But it was absolutely brilliant because it was also getting beyond the walls in your classroom within your school, because next year there will be a new group of students coming to that grade, and there was some brilliant sharing that was happening.
Yeah, I think I heard that conversation with Katie. And we've actually just been talking about Jing and the use of capturing what's happening on your screen and sharing it with a wider audience.
Exactly. It's a brilliant idea. But, and really I think the collaboration point comes certainly to motivation, but also says maybe some of the bigger purposes in education on why we do what we do is it makes it more relevant, certainly. but also as we go forward, this world is shrinking in how easy it is to communicate, like you and I are doing right now, Chris.
Yeah, it is pretty mind-blowing when you think only a couple of years ago this was near impossible. Mate, I'm going to try the video, so I don't know how the bandwidth will hold up to this, but let's give it a go.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I can see you. Go Canada.
Canada.
Nice.
Hold on, I got more. My hockey skate. It's warm here, though. And my ice-cold beer. That's after...
Nice. Nice. So,
although I wish I was in Australia, so I can enjoy some nice Shiraz.
Yeah, we got plenty of that. Would anyone like to come and chat with Ben? Well,
I've already seen Chris enough.
Yeah. There you go, mate. Like I said, a small but enthusiastic bunch. Everybody wave.
Can I just ask Ben what his educational background is? Like
Sure.
Teaching?
Sure. Why don't you come over here and ask, because he won't get the audio from there. Got a question for you, Ben?
All right, excellent.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. My name's Scott.
Nice to meet you.
I'm just curious as to what your teaching history is, what your involvement in schools has been.
Yeah, excellent. So I've taught in the Toronto area previously, and taught in elementary grades there, our grade 4, so about 9, 10-year-olds. I taught there for a few years as a technology demonstration classroom. I just lucked into that, and then came back to my district and got saddled in that class that nobody wanted, which was that they had 8 different supply teachers in that first month of school. So when I moved back to my hometown, they gave me that class to take care of, and I taught there for 3 years. And then now I'm in the board office as a curriculum consultant, and I do curriculum consulting, whatever that actually is.
Okay. Have you ever tried using this Skype mechanism with the students, talking to the students in other schools?
I didn't use Skype. I used the voice feature on Yahoo Messenger and on MSN Messenger, just because Skype wasn't as mature as it is now when that process was happening. It was just one of the emerging technologies in my last year in the classroom.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, because I'm just curious about that, because I'd like to be able to set up sort of with my students. I've got a Year 4 class, which is about 10-year-olds as well, and I'm very curious to set up some sort of Skype network with another school, so that the students in my class can link in with other culture or with other students from somewhere else within the world. So,
well, we've got grade 4 classes. We've got that same level in Canada. So why don't you send that contact information if you want to do a Skype with some of our students? I'm sure we can hook something up with some of our students of 10-year-olds.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll get your details off Chris and we'll work something out.
Excellent. Hey, nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else like to talk?
Thanks.
Is Joan standing by at all?
No, she isn't. She has the flu.
Oh, really?
I got a text message from her saying that she couldn't join us because she unfortunately has the flu and is not able to join us today. She said that she hadn't been out of bed yet, and it was 7 o'clock when she sent me the text message. So she sends her regrets.
Right. Well, that's a shame. Because the other thing you can do is, of course, is to have more than just two-way conversations. Not with video. You can only do two-way with video, but you can drag 3, 4, 5. I think up to. Have you found the limit? It's 10, isn't it?
Well, I think it's 10, but you can do a Skype cast, which I think is a limit of 100. Just everyone can't speak. Just most people are then listening. But if you have people you want to do the discussing with, then you certainly could have a big audience listening into that discussion.
Yeah. So, you could potentially connect multiple people. In fact, let me just have a look here, Ben, to see who else is online. What unsuspecting victims. My girlfriend is online. I'm going to drag her into this conversation and we'll just see what can happen.
Should I get out of here? I don't want to get out here.
That won't be that kind of conversation. It's okay.
Excellent.
But let's give this a go. So I'm going to drag her in here, and I'm assuming I will now lose my video, and we'll go back to three-way audio. Let's try it. You still hear me? Hello? Hello, Miss Linda?
Hi. Hello, Mr. Chris.
You need to turn your volume down.
I am.
We're using you in a three-way, so to speak.
Chris, I warned you about this. Come on now.
So
glad to be of service.
So I've got you and Ben Hazzard and me, and this is where the technology gets interesting, because I'm sitting here in Carrara on the Gold Coast in Australia, talking to Ben from Port Lambton in Canada and Linda from Brampton in Ontario in Canada, and it's as though we're all in the same room, right?
Right.
You asked
Certainly is. You're from Canada, Linda? Excellent.
I am, Ben.
So,
in Brampton. We're in Brampton. I used to teach in Brampton.
Really? No. 10 in Mayfield area. and come on, it's not that small a world, is it?
Should we leave you two to chat?
Okay, your 3 ways to come in 2 ways.
So, so I was just trying to demonstrate to the good folk here that, this technology can be used to extend in all sorts of ways, beyond a simple 2-way conversation. And I think we've done a reasonable demonstration. And our time's actually coming to an end here. So, Ben, can I just thank you for joining us? I really appreciate your time.
Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Scott, and everyone who was nervous to come on up. But it's wonderful to be part of this, Chris.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. And I've told the good folk here about your podcast and suggested that they give it a listen, because I know I get a lot of value out of it.
And we're about to launch a you stay tuned. We actually have a prize for the first time ever.
Sorry, what was that?
We actually have a prize on the podcast as we go to our 100th episode.
Ah, yeah, because you're getting up there, aren't you?
Yeah, so we're at 90, and we've recorded our 90th, and that'll come out in a couple of weeks. And then in the 10 episodes that come up, we're going to start this kind of prize to kind of celebrate us getting to our 100th episode.
Well, that's quite an achievement. So congratulations, mate, and thanks for joining us this morning. Chris. I appreciate it.
Always fun. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, mate. Bye. And thank you too, Miss Linda.
You're welcome, Mr. Chris.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye now.
Okay, bye.
Hi from the Interactive Whiteboard Conference on the Gold Coast. Woohoo!
Well, there you have it, a little insight into the goings-on from the 4th Interactive Whiteboard Conference at Carrara at Emmanuel College on the Gold Coast. And it was a good time. If you didn't get there, try and get to the next one, which I believe will be held in Melbourne. So we'll see you in sunny Melbourne for the next one. I'm going to take you out with a little piece of music that was written by a group of teachers in one of my sessions at the conference, where we were playing with looking at different ways that interactive whiteboards can be used to cater for multiple intelligences. And just for a bit of fun, we dragged out the new GarageBand 08 with Magic GarageBand, where you get to play around with all the instruments and pick and choose how the piece of music's going to sound. So I got a couple of teachers to act as the drummer, the bass player, the guitarist, the lead and the keyboard player, and they fiddled around with the instruments and they came up with this jazzy little piece you're listening to here to take us out to the end. So thanks to those teachers who were involved in that. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for listening to this episode, number 15, as we head towards number 20. I figure if Ben can head towards 100, I'm going to head towards 20. So thanks again for listening. My name's Chris Betcher, and you've been listening to the Virtual Staff Room.